Easy. Put the kids to bed, people. Yo, what up? What up? What up, people? It's Tuesday night. You know what time it is. It's time for the greatest podcast in podcasting history. It's your boys, the No Man Fantasy Sports Podcast. It's your boy, the Mr. What Up Man. What up, people?
Yo, guys.
Ooh,
Hello.
Hello.
That was kind of weak, but I'll let it go. You know, as always, we got a packed house tonight. We got, of course, first and foremost, my man, straight from the basketball courts into your hearts, Mr. Stino. What's up, Stino?
What's happening, gang? What's good with y'all?
You got the guy, you may not recognize him with the short hair, but he's here for you anyway. Mr. Bo, what up, Bo?
What up, guys? What up, everybody?
You cut the locks?
It's been gone. It's been
gone.
It's been a whole lot cooler.
Into your hearts, Mr. Stino. What's up, Stino?
What's happening, gang? What's good with y'all?
Bo, are we calling you Sunset now?
We
Stop, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy.
The sun's out. The guns are out. What's up, Stitch?
What's up, sir?
We got it may not be snowing in your place, but it's always snowing in our place. What up, Snow?
What's up, man? Happy MaaM Tuesday.
Right.
I like that.
Tuesday.
Snowman.
I like that. We can't see him right now. I think he's having I think he's trying to get TikTok working. But we got Bro in the building. What up, Bro?
What up, bro?
What's up, bro?
There he goes. My man Jay Curbs, always holding it down, looking as angry as ever. I know you got something to say.
I ain't got shit to say.
Whoa.
Always got that Michael Beasley. He always got that Michael Beasley.
Right.
Michael Beasley look.
Right.
We don't get excited because we can do it. We get excited because we can do it again and again and again.
Stop, bro.
And again.
And again.
Still to this day has the greatest waves on the internet.
Nice.
What up, Drew?
Here we're shaking people.
Be in there.
Drew?
Speaking
Got some depth in the waves.
Hold on. Speaking of waves and eating goldfish in waves, we got Billy B. Hey, real quick, does anyone know? Billy, don't say a word. Does anyone know what his favorite flavor of goldfish is? If you know, chat, throw it in the chat, guys. After I introduce Wes, we're gonna have a little contest. You know what?
I didn't know they
three-time fantasy.
But it was one flavor
that will not win it again this year.
Bullshit.
My man Wes, what up, baby?
Sorry, that slipped out. What up, family?
All right, Drew. You got one guess only. Belly B's favorite flavor. Go.
I'm not gonna be casual and say the original. I'm gonna say extra cheesy.
That is incorrect, sir. Bro.
Edible.
I'm not gonna accept that answer. I'm gonna need a flavor, sir.
Sour cream.
Ooh.
Sour cream goldfish.
That's
I don't even
incorrect,
think
sir.
that's a thing.
They do have sour cream and onion. Step up your game, sir. Dino.
Yeah.
First of all, fuck goldfish. Second of all, I think I'm gonna go with the I gotta go with the flavor blasted, bro. Flavor blasted.
That is incorrect, sir. Jay Curves.
White cheddar.
Ooh,
Nice.
good guess.
That's racist. That's racist.
It's motivated. It's motivated.
That was very
Motivated.
Stitch.
I'm gonna say original.
That is incorrect. Originally. Snow.
I'm gonna go with nacho.
Not to right one.
Not sure.
Bo.
That's the right one.
Ranch.
Absolutely not. You are incorrect. Wes.
That's disgusting. They're gross.
Good. They're not bad. They're not bad.
They're gross.
No,
Jalapeno.
You are very wrong, sir. Billy B's favorite flavor of
It better not be extra burnt.
That would have been a good one.
Burnt?
is garlic parm.
Are you kidding me?
Or
Oh my God. Yo, you're the bougiest big back ever, bro.
You know that man's breath smells.
Kelly went with white cheddar and graham.
Graham cracker.
Kelly, that sounded motivated, Kelly.
Yeah, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
This is for Belly. How many days a week do you finger bag a bag of goldfish? Bro?
Whoa!
Hey, yo.
Whoa! Pause, bro. Pause.
I know what he meant.
You know, because
I know what he meant.
yo, listen, and I'm very sure Ryan does not use the normal two finger method.
He's
Ryan
all
is-
five in, bro.
It's a
Ryan is
whole
like
hand.
Ryan is the
Ryan,
one.
It's the whole hand,
So
bro.
you're not
Hold
even
on.
like,
Ryan,
wow.
do you buy the new carton?
Yeah, the whole hand. Everything in.
Jesus Christ, bro.
He does like the
So-
claw game.
so-
Drew, he's like the claw game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can I ask you guys something then? How many of y'all pour them into your hand, and how many of y'all reach in the bag?
I
Yeah,
pour
I
him in
just
my
take the
hand, bro.
bag, I pour it down, man. I'm just saying, man.
I pour it in my
drink.
hand.
What?
I mean, goldfish clear. I'm saying. All right, Chad. Tell us, Chad, whoever's out there, what's your favorite goldfish flavor? And maybe we'll have a no, man. We'll get sponsored. Speaking about sponsors, shout out to the Comedy Zone in Charlotte and up in the mountains on the Cherokee Mountains. A lot going on in Cherokee Mountains. I'm going to tell you, I haven't been there. You know, they got a bill passed a few months ago. So shout out to the engines.
Nice.
And shout out to my man
Yes.
Dr. Drains, helping servicing Charlotte for the last 2 years. Doing a great job, great reviews. If you have any plumbing needs, make sure you hit up our guy. Listen, we got a lot going on, man. Wes, I gotta tell you, I'm bringing back something. I'm about to get angry again.
Oh boy. Back. It's been a minute since we did it.
Are You Serious is back, people. We got to get prepared, right? There's a lot of stuff going on in the sports world where we can start doing some Are You Seriouses, sisters. And so we'll be bringing that segment back as well. We got some other stuff coming, popping off. We're getting ready to go down. We got a lot to talk about. Kind of slow week in the sports world. In some essences, we got to, we have enough to talk about because we're the greatest. We've been, by the way, Drew, I don't know if you know this, but this is day 9,665,543, whatever, of being sucker free and keeping our originality.
I mean, that's what we do, baby. That's what we do, baby.
Hey, man.
Thank you,
Bro, what's the status of TikTok tonight? What are we doing? Are we live on TikTok?
No, we are not live on TikTok due to marital spouses. So
Gotcha.
Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
However, I think we lost Kirby. Yep, he'll be back. We are currently updated, Drew. 1425 on subscribers on YouTube. So thank you to the YouTube family. Thank you to the Twitch family for representing, showing up, showing out. We really do appreciate you. Shout out to the queen of the chat, Kelly. She's in the building as always.
Hey.
We love you, appreciate you.
WKL.
We got a lot going on. Do want to talk about we'll talk about some of the NBA stuff a little bit later. What's going on? We'll talk about even some NFL stuff a little bit later, but gotta get back. We gotta get back into the fantasy mode. And I got an announcement to make in regards to the fantasy mode. Now, if your name's not called, don't get offended. It is what it is, man. So I challenged our friends at the Not Moved podcast. I told them that I'm not moved by your fantasy prowess. And so I challenged them to a 6-on-6. The way it's going to work is we got 6 guys from here, 6 guys from there. It'll be normal everyday rules. And then, hopefully at the end it's 2 no-man people and we can just rule the airways like we always do, right? No-man. So the starting lineup is as follows. Wes, you're on the team. Congratulations.
no, I'm kidding.
W.
Drew, you are on the team, sir.
W.
Bro,
Yes, sir.
you're on the team, sir.
Thank
Oh,
you, sir.
wait a minute.
Okay, Wes.
No,
Nope.
I was. It wasn't about that. I was like, that was 3 names and
Oh.
3 left. So
Okay.
Oh, well, I'm in it. I'm in it. So that's 4.
right.
Can't throw down the challenge and not be part of it. So we got 2 spots left.
Facts.
Jared Kirby.
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
You are now on the No Man team for the not moved No Man challenge or No Man not moved challenge.
What's that?
Welcome to the show, buddy.
Yo,
We're-
I got a
welcome to
call.
Tuesdays.
What was I supposed to do? Ignore that important phone call?
I challenged the Not Move podcast to a fantasy football league.
All right.
And so right now your teammates are Wes, Drew, Bro, and me.
All right. Just volunteering me for shit.
All right. If you don't want to be in it, I can replace you. I'm just saying.
I'm just giving you shit. Don't get sensitive on me. Come on, man.
And the last spot is gonna go to the person that Wes picks.
What the hell are you talking about, Wes?
No, I gotta give it to Stino. Stino had a great run last year in the main league. And
Yeah, I get back for Stino. Yeah.
so Stino, he will be anchoring up the team.
Woohoo!
Fellas that did not get chosen for the league, don't worry. There's another challenge going out there that you guys will be first in line to be part of.
AKA, you're the B team, fellas. You're the
See, I knew somebody started. I knew.
It's okay. I'm the 6th man, so don't feel bad. You rock. You rock. Jamal Crawford out.
6 man and kid.
Hey, Lou Will is crazy.
No,
But
Jamal Crawford, bro.
obviously, as everybody knows, we do a lot of fantasy leagues.
a lot of leagues.
We will be doing at least 4 random wheel leagues.
What?
Jeez.
What?
Okay, hold on. Time out.
Damn.
Hold on. Wait.
Four
You know, there's
blind.
like a limit on Yahoo, right?
No, there's not. No.
There is.
I was in 26 leagues last year. It's not a limit, bro.
I mean, ESPN doesn't have a limit, so that's all I'm
None
saying.
of the Yahoo. But anyway,
Snow.
sleeper. No, Snow just doesn't want to be part of the random league because he knows what happens in the random league.
Picking the
what
Jaguars
happens in the
6
random
times
league?
back to back.
right.
And I was thinking, for shits and giggles, for funsies purposes, that why don't we do one next week with everyone on the panel?
That's early as hell, bro.
I know. Just get ready. Have
Hey.
fun, man.
I'm with you, Drew.
Hey.
But it's a random wheel, and
And,
you know how
and
crazy
listen,
that's
no.
anyway.
Here's the thing. I'm not even gonna we'll keep track of it, whatever. But we won't. It won't. Like I'm not gonna put it into a league.
Okay.
It'll be kind of like our mock draft, right?
Way too early.
Our way too early fantasy league.
Random.
You're not going to screw me on T. Higgins this year, are you?
Probably.
So Stitch, so what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. This is 8, 9, 10. Stitch, I want you to come up with one person. You get to invite one person outside of the No Man or inside the No Man. Whoever not on whoever the 10 is not here.
You got Reese.
Whoever the 10's not here, you get to pick one other person. Bo, you as well. One other person. There was only one parameter. They cannot be from another podcast that makes you go to sleep.
Hey, what if they are not there no more?
Oh Lord, I know where he's going.
I need registration papers. I need
You need paperwork.
I need paperwork.
Hey, Drew.
I know. Does his name start with a T?
Drew, you know.
I already know who it is.
I already know who it is too.
I already know who it is.
Okay, just say the fucking name. It's Peter?
Kukui.
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 Oh, Cuckoos.
Kukui.
Yeah, I'm down with Cuckoo. I mean, I don't know what
That's my
spots
guy.
in his forehead. That dude got a big forehead.
You seen that whenever my hat came off?
But
What?
yeah, so next
Bro,
week,
my hat just came.
just hit me up who you want to invite, Bo. If you want a Kukui, just ask Cooey and see if if he's down to come on, and we'll do the as Wes will call it, the way too early
Random wheel.
random wheel league. We'll have some fun with it.
Oh, who's gonna get a better yet? Which team do we think is going to be a back-to-back?
Oh. I'm gonna go with the Giants, man. It's always the Giants, bro.
I'm gonna say.
What was the question?
So remember last year? I think it was the Giants last year. I think it was like
No, it was the 49ers. 49ers went 4 straight picks. Because Reese had a back-to-back.
We didn't have. They definitely did not go 4 straight.
no the
four,
Giant. Yeah, I mean they might have went 4 times, but I think the Giants went back-to-back like 3 times, 2 or 3 times. I think this year's gonna be the Titans, bro.
It was the Giants and the Rams.
We got the
the Rams too. Yep, it was the Rams
last year.
Yep, yo, I'm telling you, I got a funny feeling it's gonna be the Titans this year because the random wheel was not giving last year at all.
Yeah,
The Saints.
That'd be
Should
tough.
be
That would be tough for everyone. The Titans have the 31st ranked playmaking group in the NFL right now, so we would be screwed.
Oh, that's
Cool.
So I posed this question the other day, and I got some mixed responses, which I expected, right? And I think Robro actually gave me the best answer. Drew, if you had the number 1 pick, who are you picking? And let me say that. What is gonna? Okay, let me. I don't want anyone to give away their secret sauces, right? We're dropping people left and right. We're having a stitch.
Never mind.
I think it's on the
Pseudo cuz.
If you have the first pick, Drew, right? Knowing what's out there, this is for everybody, right? If you get the first pick, knowing what's out there this year, and Burbo, you pointed out there's a lot of potential number 1 guys that you could take. I'll start with you, Drew. Does that change your strategy overall?
Does it?
I mean, strategy is always either running back or wide receiver, depending on depth. So I already know I'm going running back this year. My first pick. Get it out the way. Just rip the Band-Aid off. I'm going running back.
Okay.
But I'm not saying who.
No, I generally don't want you to. I want you, keep it a secret.
Because Stino's going to steal my pick.
that always happens to Drew.
Bro, what about you? Does it change yours? And Belly,
Like I told you, it don't change mine. I don't give a damn what people think I should be drafting and what's a high draft pick and what I should be doing. I'm going for people that I know going to get me a multitude of points. That's my goal. That's what it has to be. And it's a fantasy league. It's not the best football player. It's fantasy football. So if a guy is a wide receiver that does multiple things, I'm looking to get him. If I'm in the first round and I don't got the first pick and I'm, depending on how many people are there, I'm drafting my team, man. I'll let you sort it out after the fact, so.
Okay. Stina, what about you? Change your strategy or you draft in conjunction with your strategy with that first pick?
If I got the first pick, man, I usually keep it pretty conservative, bro, to be honest with you. I'm usually probably either going to go the best running back or the best wide receiver. Then more likely it's the best running back. But here lately, past couple years, I have kind of started to go off more like potentially what they're going to do, not necessarily what they done last year, like a lot of people do. So, I mean, I don't know. If I had the number one pick right now, though, I would be choosing between Saquon and Bijan Robinson. No, I'm not gonna lie to you. Honest.
So, Bo, I don't think we've played fantasy.
No. Well, I'm in the WNBA league, but
Really?
I don't know whatever.
This is the first time he's been worthy enough.
Okay.
Yeah,
Bo,
real facts.
so let me ask you this: what is your? I want because I don't want again. I don't want you to have to give away what you're.
Oh, I don't care because he's going to be. I mean, whenever we're talking about the first pick, he's either going to be the first, second, or third pick more than likely. So
Right. So you
I
actually
don't. I think it's Jamar Chase as my one.
okay.
I think that's one of the most protected picks that you can have. He's going to give you what he gives you. I mean, he just had his best career year, and I'm sure whoever picked him up fantasy last year, I mean, loved every bit of it.
So
Because
you
I
said,
fucking didn't.
again, we had the conversation the other day, and I loved how you were saying you were going to approach it, right? Because you kind of do it the same way I do. You wait for that quarterback to come available
Big G.
later down because you want to build your squad up first, right?
Yep.
So, what has been your downfall, would you say, over the last few years in drafting? Now,
Oh, drafting. Okay.
in drafting, right? And I ask you that, do you think partially it's because of who's drafting around you?
No.
Okay.
I think the downfall for my team sometimes is I don't necessarily fill a spot. If the best player available, like I don't know, in 3 rounds are all wide receivers, that's just what it's going to be, and I'll worry about it later on, and I'll shop at the black market for running backs, and then poof, Chuba popped up. It's gonna work out.
Right. I mean, eventually it does,
Hmm?
and I'm glad you said that because I think, I know Belly and I have spoken at length on this. Um, there are people that we know that like to hoard running backs and other positions, right? But well, Drew, you raised your hand, but Drew, you know what? At least you're open to trading.
Hmm?
There's somebody.
That part.
There's somebody. I'm not pointing any fingers or naming any names that don't trade as much as they used to. I know one person does. Don't even mention the word trade around him, and his name is Snow, by the way.
Oh no,
No, that's
nope.
not okay. You've traded with
You
me.
of all people should, if it's a
Yeah,
fair
okay.
trade,
If it's a
Thank you.
fair,
and I'm
Thank
not trading superstar to superstar, we good.
no, and listen, I am all for if okay, so last year, right? I did not have I had a number two, I had two number twos as my starting receivers last year,
okay.
right? Now, I knew for a fact that I needed a number one. And I had a number one and a fringe number one kind of running back that was splitting some time, I think. And but he fell off towards the end of the year. Injury was my biggest bug. Now, if we're gonna make a trade, I have no problem trading a number one running back for a number one receiver if that's what we both need, right? In that exchange.
I agree.
But if you're gonna try to sell me the farm, right? And what I mean by sell me the farm, you're sending me a beat up mule, a cow that's on 3 legs, a pig that has all types of rabid diseases,
Whoa.
and some chickens that aren't going to produce anything for a number one guy that I have that you want, bro, don't come knocking at my door, bro, because you are Jehovah's Witness, no offense, and I'm not answering.
I mean, that's valid.
Crazy work.
Snowy.
Yeah, I got something to add on that. So now this is gonna be funny. Back to the trade things, right? So I'm just speaking for me. The job I do involves I analyze data. So if you come at me with the trail with the trade and talk to me like you're a salesman, like, here's what's good for you, nowhere, and it's somebody who just tore their Achilles, I'm gonna get a little upset. And that's when that's when
Well, no, right. So I think what Snow's alluding to, and you know me, I don't give a shit. I'll call names out. Reese will come to you with a
Oh,
oh,
a
actually,
two, a
actually wasn't him.
2-for-1 or 3-for-1 deal, and try to sit there and sell you that you're getting 3 guys and only giving up one.
One.
Yeah, but the 3 guys are on AARP and haven't played football in 75 years. Like,
Well,
not even.
I kind of redeemed y'all last year because I traded him J.K. Dobbins and I got back Lad McConkey. You feel me? And
Well, no.
the week after we made that trade, J.K. Dobbins ended up down for the season.
Mm-hmm.
But
So let me say this, and Stino, real quick, I'll let you go in a second. So, Reese typically does draft well, but he has buyer's remorse.
Buyer's remorse. Okay.
Instantaneously, right? So if and the reason I say that, and Snow and Wes and Drew, you had a year of it. Stino, you just had a year of it. Bro, you experienced it. You know you don't trust your team or you trust yourself when 5 minutes after the fucking draft is over, you're talking trades.
Yeah.
I don't even give it 5 minutes. I give it 3.
Well, you're pathetic. That's why.
Yeah,
Damn, you give it 3
No,
minutes?
and I'm not saying for me. I've seen people sitting there wanting to trade within 3 minutes of having their team.
It's ridiculous. It's like, let your team sit and marinate for a minute, man.
I think the people that
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bo.
I think the people that do that usually are like just trying to get a better package. They're trying to get somebody. You know what I'm saying? The ones that want to instantly just trade are like, oh, let's see what some goofy offers me. You know what? Like, that's what I've seen in other drafts that I've been in. They're just people that want a bad trade.
The only other time
what about fan picks?
What do you mean?
Let's say I got Jamar Chase.
Right.
You're a Bengals fan. You got a number one guy. You're like, yo, I want Chase because that's my guy on my team. How do you feel about that trading right after?
I wouldn't do that. That's not.
Okay.
I think
No.
When you start playing with your heart, you're going to start to lose.
Maybe. So last year, random wheel, we had a trade where you got your guy that you wanted in Cooper Kupp.
What are you talking about? But that was a trade after the wheel was done. Like we were like a week or two into the league. I didn't do it on the
okay, I see what Snow's
saying. Like I think what Snow's saying is like when I'm done drafting, right? So again, I don't believe in homer picks unless it's a homer pick. Like when Kenny, shout out to Shoal Train, when Kenny drafted not in the 4th round, but with the 4th pick, what was the guy's name? He was
Edwards.
Amani Edwards. Right? That was a pure homer. I'm a fucking and then sometimes you see like Reese and Kenny will fight back in the day would fight with Lewis over who's going to draft Cam Newton, right? Because they were homers, right? They were Panther fans, right? The Cam Newton, not a bad pick because Cam was a fantasy monster. He would give you a gang of points, right? I'm saying once you're done drafting, you got to sit back and look at your team. Now, if a day comes by later and and if you do like I know like we do, you sit there and I'll be like, well, let me look at Bro's team.
Yeah.
Bro, it look like you may need a tight end because that guy doesn't look like he's gonna do shit this year. I got 2 of them on my. You can start working it that way. I think that's fine.
Yeah, but like Snow and them said, but what if first of all, I mean, unless I could be wrong here, and I apologize for being wrong if somebody's here is undefeated in fantasy league. So I'm just saying that sometimes you may already have it mapped out that you're going for a guy and you jump me ahead, right? Like there's a guy in the late rounds that you've got a feeling's gonna be good this year, right?
Okay.
But then you're ahead of me picking, and you jump and get the guy. So now it's like, damn, how I'm gonna get this dude? What, I'm gonna wait 2 weeks for somebody else to give you probably a fucking trade that they could potentially sway you and give that guy up, and then you lose out on the guy? No, you gotta do everything you possibly can to make your team better. If it's waiting 2 weeks, so be it.
Right.
If it's waiting 2 minutes, so be it. You know, you just got to do what you got to do, man. In my opinion, that's just how I feel.
I agree with that. And I'll just bring it back to last year because I wanted Brock Bowers. And I was trying to set, and this before he did all the records and stuff. I just wanted a Raider on my team, and he was the only one that I was comfortable of grabbing. And I think Kenny took him 8. And I was mad at Kenny because I was like, you don't know nothing about this. But you took him because you took a need. And I took and I forgot the Carolina running back that was coming off of ACL. Brooks, thinking by the end of the draft, I can flip this Carolina player to Kenny to get to what I.
So you were preying on the weak.
Right. But I had that thought that, okay, he picked the guy, like Bro was saying, because Kenny was in front of me and I couldn't get him. So I picked my next pick in regards to as trade bait for the person I wanted to trade to, because I knew he was a Carolina fan. This rookie running back had a lot of, pop, even though he's coming off the
a lot of pop.
I was like, if I can sell Kenny that, you just got to sit on this.
His ACL went pop,
Right. If I can sell Kenny that, you just got to sit on this dude for the first 6 weeks, and then you got a number 1 running back for your team, I would have had it. But he wasn't buying. And I was like, damn it. But that
he wasn't buying because everyone gave him shit for taking Lamar in the first round.
Right. So So now he's hesitant to do anything.
Right.
But I'm glad you brought up that topic, Mitch, because I was thinking the same thing. Like day trades, that draft day trades, I'm not against that. I know it may prolong the process, but
I'm not 100% against it. I just think that you're potentially doing your team a disservice, right? And I say this.
But if you have a guy, Mitch, and that's what fans about. If you have a guy that you want to rock with for the year, you got to get him. Like I said, that's what fantasy is about.
So we watched Kenny last year take Lamar Jackson in the first round, right? If given the opportunity, what don't you think he's going to do it again?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
I want to. No, but here's the thing. There's another person, I'm not going to name any names, that loves his quarterback.
And then you can say it. They know what's going to happen. I don't give a damn.
Oh yeah, I already know.
Nobody else said.
Okay, so what happens if someone takes him before you go? When the draft is done, are you automatically focusing on that guy to get?
No. You see, because just because I don't get Josh Allen in the draft, don't mean that I came with one strategy to get Josh Allen and be thankful for the draft. I'm looking for, again, like I said, just because I don't get Josh Allen, this is real talk. Just because I don't get Josh Allen who does multiple things, don't mean it ain't another quarterback out there that does multiple things. He may not do it to Josh Allen's height, but I'm still looking for that guy. That guy could be on the bench, not even starting right now. And that just furthers me to draft a quarterback later and focus on those other running backs and the wide receivers that do multiple things. God.
So I'm going to say, so I'm just going to use a scenario, Stino, because he's making great attitude right now. If Stino drafted Josh Allen, right? You're going to tell me you're not going to look at his as his draft goes on and try to formulate a way to get maybe for something sweet enough to get Josh?
If a person that damn near won the league last year has Josh Allen, which means he knows how to draft and he's willing to trade Josh Allen, he's a damn fool. I'm not the fool. What do you mean why? Because that means the draft is already over with. He has a bona fide team with Josh Allen. Why would he trade Josh Allen?
What if he has a need somewhere else and he can fulfill that, and he already drafted a backup quarterback?
So you're going to potentially trade the number 1 potential quarterback in fantasy to get somebody else.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay, I'm loving
That-
it.
Wait, hold on, be true before you answer. So is everyone in this room going to tell me that they've never won a league or did really well in a league without a number one quarter, without a stud quarterback like a Josh Allen?
Oh,
I did
yeah.
it. I did it with JD5 and Bo Nix and 3 of my fucking fantasy
I mean,
fantasy last year.
I've done it, but if
Yeah.
so, and you
Oh.
have to look at it from this scope, right? If you have Josh Allen, then 9 times out of 10 you're at a deficit at either running back or wide receiver.
Wide receiver, correct.
Now,
Potentially.
to give up a guy like the only way you're giving up a guy like Josh, and it goes back to what I'm saying, and what I said was Brober wants Josh Allen, right? And I'm at a deficit at running back. Like, I'm looking for a number one running back, bro. If Brober doesn't have that number one running back that I need,
what if he does? What if he does, and you say, "I'll give you Josh Allen for Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley"? Straight up, you wouldn't do that deal if he said yes. Robo, would you do that deal?
it all depends who my backup quarterback is. That's the other, that's the other thorn in the situation. I mean, I'm a waiver wire type of person, so
Right.
if that's the potential in the trade value, I'm looking at the two things. I'm looking at who my backup quarterback is, their bye week, and who's available on waivers, because I'm gonna need another. I'm gonna get rid of. I'm essentially getting rid of a late round running back that I picked up to make the space, and I'm looking on the waiver wires to see who's another guy that I can just have at quarterback on the roster. So
okay, well, and
Or a rookie.
What did you say?
I said, or a rookie.
no, I'm not picking a rookie quarterback ever.
Really?
Yeah, you're not gonna,
Especially with this draft class.
No, definitely not
Well,
this.
fair.
Definitely not this draft class. But I don't know. I just think there's scenarios like I don't, I don't know. We'll see. Again, the draft takes so many different directions when certain people are have certain placement and they don't know how to deal with it, right? Like for instance, I'm going to throw a scenario at you. How do you think the draft falls? Let's say Kenny, and I'm just Kenny. No disrespect. I hope you're not. I hope you're watching, but I hope you don't get mad. But let's just say Kenny has the first pick and fucks around and takes Lamar Jackson.
Well, do I have number 2 pick? Do I get the step?
Well, 2, 3, 4, and 5 straight benefit from it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Almost everybody.
I think the next 6 picks will benefit from that. To be completely honest, the next 6 picks are going to benefit from that.
The problem is once somebody does go quarterback in the late round, and then somebody else goes quarterback in the late round, and then somebody else goes quarterback in the late round or early round. I mean, it's I've seen that happen where the first quarterback Lamar will go in 1 or 2, and then after that Josh Allen goes at like 7. So then everybody's like, oh well, I need a quarterback. So
Right. So Patrick Mahomes will be like on the turn or some shit like that, right? But
right.
But Bo, here's the thing. After that happens, right? So you got 3 teams. So our league is 14 teams right now, right?
Ooh. Right.
So you got 9 more teams that need quarterbacks, right? So who are the other 9 quarterbacks outside of the Lamar, Josh, and Patrick? You still got Burrow out there.
Burrow.
You got
Dak. You got Dak. Dak for fantasy is nice. I mean, respectfully, if he stays healthy.
Right. But then there's sleepers, right? You got Baker, who I can't even believe I just said that. Baker and there's still a lot of guys out there. And if the Avalanche stops, Bo, I'm not taking a quarterback until like the 7th or 8th round.
Right, exactly. Because it stopped. Everybody else is waiting until about.
I'm building a fucking squad. I'm building GI Joe
squadron
members to take out everybody.
I think the stampede happens if the third person picks the quarterback, right? If the third person takes that quarterback, so you get Josh Allen, Lamar, and Joe Burrow, right? Then I think that's when people will freak out and start grabbing Baker in the second or third or somewhere. Not y'all, but I just from what I've seen.
No, and it can happen. If you got what you want in the first, 3-4 picks, that fifth round pick could be something out of the norm for you that you would
Right.
never do, or you stay true to your game. Stitch, is there a positional player this year that you're looking at that no one else that you're not you're not hearing anyone talk about, but in your opinion, you think he's gonna be that guy this year? You have anyone in mind? Don't give me
Believe it or not, I do. I believe JT is going to have a bounce back year this year. Jonathan Taylor. I think he's going to have a better year than he did last year, honestly.
Okay, so with that said, he gave us the name, guys. So let's play off the name. Bro. A, do you agree? And B, where do you think JT lies as far as where you would draft him? Which round?
I mean, I don't think I can. How can I disagree? I mean, it's his pick. So. I don't know if he would have a great year or not yet. I mean, we still got to look at what that offensive line look like. We don't know. So, I wouldn't have a problem taking him, high. I mean, JT's still proving that he can get the job done. It's all going to be all about what the team look like around him to some degree, So
you taking him in the first round?
If I'm in the end of the first round, I'm not taking him with the first pick and no shit like that. I don't, I would take him later.
I feel that.
It's a 14 league. If I got the 12th pick, you got a problem with taking JT at 12?
No, hell no. That'd be a steal.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
It depends. It depends.
Yeah, but
for me, okay, so I'm not. I will say, for me, it depends who's still available, and knowing I got the turn coming around.
Right. I feel that.
So I think anything past 8.
And Mitch, the problem in fantasy is nobody in here. I'm not accusing anybody in here of doing this. People still treat fantasy football as Madden. They're not even thinking about it in the real aspect of what you need to do. Instead of so there's always going to be that person that panics in the first round. It always happens.
Oh, absolutely.
They take a player just because they feel like they have to take that player because they won't get him later. And you can't think like that. You just got to adjust. It happens. I mean, that's why fantasy is unpredictable. You have to do it that way.
And that's a great point. Belly, you and I talked about this, I think it was last week, when I said to you, the fucking problem is that the goobers that are drafting around you, they fuck up a pick, meaning okay, I don't believe in best available, right? Only in certain occasions, right? But when they go outside the realm, you're like, what the and that's gonna mess up your next pick. If you're the next pick, and we've had that happen before, because now you got your guy that's still on the availability chart, and then next thing you know, there's 2 other guys out there like, shit, I want to take this guy, but I really want to. I didn't think he was going to be available. I don't know. I take that. Is that what you're talking about, Stitch?
Yes.
Okay.
No, and like I said, Mitch, but everybody understands what I mean by panic. I don't mean I got to take a running back because mostly running backs and wide receivers are going to go first either way. What I'm saying is there's always a guy that's going to come out of nowhere and says, oh my God, I got to take this guy. I might not get him later. You can't think like that because it never works out that way. Because if you build your team that way, you're going to be struggling the whole year. I've seen it every single time. You cannot just draft somebody because you like his name. I mean, that's just the wrong way of thinking. I mean,
well, but you say that, and I'll tell you a story about Snow, and I know about this.
All rise.
Snow, do you remember Jeremy's pick that one year in Lewis's draft, the 6th round? He stood up in front of everyone. And he said, "Steven Gostkowski."
No, I don't remember that one.
I was like, did
We
this
announcing
motherfucker
kickers?
take a kicker in the 6th round?
Was it in the 6th round? Oh man.
So we say that, right? So here's the fucked up thing.
Mm-mm.
He wound up coming in 2nd place that year. And he had Kokowski the whole time. Like he made his regular moves or whatever, but it really didn't at first you're like we said last year, Kenny, this is gonna hurt you. Kenny was in the running most of the year.
He hit on his other positions. Like it didn't cost him taking Lamar early when he hit on his other positions.
Right.
Like when you hit on rookies, because I think he had BTJ too that I was scoping out. So when you hit on that late, your errors that you make early, there ain't no errors because you're not really giving up, the best wide receiver or the best tight end in the early rounds because you making that up, hitting on these rookies in round 9 and 10. So the gap that they would have lost early by taking a quarterback in the first 2 rounds, they made that up by getting steals at tight end and a receiver position that are top 3 at their position. You getting that in the 9th, 10th round, no matter what you do in the beginning of the rounds, you're gonna make a come up. Because you're getting gems with your 9th, 10th pick that nobody else saw. Like top 3 type position people. And that's hard to do. So we clown Kenny for his strategy, but he hit late on the draft to get him where he maintained his spot throughout the season.
All right. Well, before we move on, we're going to talk about some other things. I want to get everyone's opinion on this. Bro. Oh, I'm sorry. You had your hand up. I apologize.
Yeah, I was going to tell you guys a funny trade story. It got to a point in one league I had to change my name to I need a running back, and people were still trying to trade me everything but a running back. And then they got mad at me for not trading.
That was Lewis's league, right?
Yeah, that was the league. Yep.
I think it was my last year in that league.
Yep. That's the league.
Bro, the most optimal position that you want to draft, like what number would that be? We'll say 14.
Most optimal position I want to draft?
Yeah. What number?
Quarterback.
No. What number?
Pick.
Oh, 1.
Which one?
Number 1. Yeah.
Really? Okay, interesting. Belly, what about you?
Number 11.
Okay. Stino.
Greedy. You greedy, Belly. You just greedy.
Belly, stay on the camera, Belly. What do you got going on, man?
I'm plugging in my charger.
I wanna be around the middle, so I'll say probably about between 6 and 8. Between 6 and 8.
Me too. Right there. Right there.
All right, West 6 and 8. Snow, what do you got?
Usually between 8 and 10.
Bo.
I still like to be in the top 5, really at 5, because it's not so long until your next pick as compared to 1. I mean, that's a little bit of a difference, but you still get a top 5 pick as a fantasy point. So, yeah, can't really beat it there.
Stitchy.
Say 6, anywhere between 6 and 10.
When it comes to a 14-man league, I want to be 14. Because that turnaround, you still have the potential of getting 2 very good picks. So either turnaround, either like Bro said,
or argue. I was going to say, I would argue that the first turn or the second turn, because the second turn you get the number 1 pick and 2 more picks, and the 2 picks are roughly about 30, ranked 35.
Yeah, about 35. Right. So there's still value in them. There's still value.
No. I agree with that. But if you're going to argue which turn is better, I would rather have the 2-3 turn because I got the number 1 pick and that second turn versus you get that first turn at 14-15.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt.
No. I'm just like I said. We got a lot of fantasy stuff coming up over the next few weeks. We're going to talk about. We'll start breaking down the positions. We got to update you guys think you guys are gonna love me for this. This year's Yes Man MaaMs are going to be on a spreadsheet that I can send out to everybody, so we can really keep score of who like, and we're gonna get tight with the score this year, fellas.
We need to set them guidelines. What's
Yeah, we had a lot of
15
arguments last year. We're not having no arguments this year. We're gonna set it, and I think we're gonna have some of it. We are gonna do our bold predictions as well in the next couple of weeks. Early, like I'm saying, like around the time that training
They gotta be spicy.
starts.
They got to be the spicy bowl.
Yeah, we're going spicy this year, man. If you ain't coming, you ain't coming spicy. You ain't coming correct. Because it's funny, Stitch. Because one of my predictions a few years ago was that JT was not going to hit 1,000 yards, and Wes was like, "Well, you crazy? You just hate JT." I was like, "No, I just don't see it, man." And lo and behold, it was one of his worst years ever. I think he was only out 2 games too. It wasn't like he was out a whole bunch of games. So we'll do some giveaways for the bowl predictions. I want to get the crowd involved. What up, Chuck? Chuck's in the YouTube chat. I want to get the No Man Nation involved. So Bo, I know you do a lot of live. Stitch, you as well. Stino, Bro, Belly. I'll come to you guys and tell you. We'll give something out. We'll do like you'll get some bold predictions from some of your viewers, and maybe we'll throw out some stickers and a T-shirt or something like that. In a related topic, well, first of all, actually, before we go any further, I got a buddy of mine. I want to shout out my man Martin. He lost his brother today.
Oh man,
32 years old.
Yes, bro.
Shout out to the Gonzalez family. You're in our prayers. We appreciate you. He's a loyal listener. He's always repping the podcast. Always talk to me on Wednesdays about the podcast. So shout out to you and your family. Our condolences to you and the family. Of course, every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Twitch and YouTube. You get the greatest podcast known to mankind. No one can do what we do. It's not the same. It's not the same. I'm not here to badmouth anybody. You're just not us. It's just simple as that. You don't have a Stino. We do. We have a Bro. You don't. Just saying. Do you have a bow? You may like Bo Nix, but you ain't got a bow. We got one. You got a guy that fistfuls at a time eat fucking goldfish. We got
Dang.
He got a Kelly. He got a Kelly.
So I got a question for you guys. We've been talking a lot about, we hear a lot of talks about the Trey Hendrickson not signing and all that stuff. I do want to dive a little bit more into this TJ Watt. Because now I'm starting to actually hear trade rumors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? More than we have in the past, right? So look, I'm not Chris Berman. I'm not here to get a job on ESPN. I want to talk about this from a fantasy perspective, right? Stino, if TJ Watt is not on that team, do you take anybody from that team, offense, or would you ever? I mean, obviously the defense would be off the table, but do you think it affects the offense enough where you would not even touch anyone on the offense? Yes or no?
No.
You would still fuck with someone on that offense?
Yeah.
Okay. Bo, what about you?
I would, only because if it's a bad defense, worse defense, it may give the offense a little more chance to go down the field. I mean, that's just more points.
Not with Aaron
You know?
Rodgers.
Okay.
So,
All right.
Not with Aaron Rodgers.
I'm just
God's ears, Wes.
And why does Aaron Rodgers get so much hate? And he had top 10 stats last year as a quarterback.
Hey, I'm trying to explain this to people too, but
you could explain it all you want, and Stino, I got a very simple explanation for you.
Okay,
A lot of those stats were garbage time stats. Number one. Number two, if they were so astronomical, the team did bupkis.
Well, I mean, wasn't that defense supposed to be a top 5, top 3 defense and turned out
Yes,
to be a 5 to 10 defense?
and they weren't. And there was also a lot of times where he cost them the game.
Or did his receivers, because the Jets also ranked second last year in the NFL with drop passes with 40. So could be kind of the wide receiver core
I
not
mean,
doing that.
Alan Lazard and Tyler Conklin resulted in 22 of those drop passes between the two of them. So let's be honest.
And they were all the receivers' fault. You watch more. You're
I
a Jet
mean,
fan.
I mean, a
A lot of
drop.
those were a lot of those were misplaced
The
balls.
receiver. You only get a drop if the ball touches your hands and you drop it.
And that's what I'm saying. A lot of
I'm sorry, Belly.
what I'm saying is, a lot of it was misplaced balls, right, boss? That it would hit their hands, they'd be ready to come down with it, shut it. So I see if they drop it. Mike Williams, for an example, the Minnesota game, he went out for it because he had to jump for it. The ball was misplaced by Rodgers. He sat there, he got it, came down, and hit right off the dude's helmet. It's a drop pass.
No, and I'm not saying, Stino, that he's going to be garbage, right?
I know.
I think he's going to a worse situation, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
I can feel that.
Well, I also, in fairness, I agree that I don't know if he's not going to be asked, but I will say this, that he did come off an injury last year, and so it did take him a while to even get back into shape, if you will. And I think later in the year you could see he was a little bit more mobile. Obviously not as mobile as he once was, but a little more mobile. You could see his timing was a lot better later in the season. Those opportunities came because they was getting their ass whooped, but still he looked different. So I will say that. Where
the confidence came back.
I think the issue is going to be here is that he's learning new guys.
Right.
Which was good for him to start practicing with DK, but he's still going to be learning new guys, a whole new coaching staff. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
I feel that.
But does Tomlin give him the leeway that Tomlin used to give Big Ben?
Yes, absolutely he does. Absolutely. But what were you going to say?
I do think he was coming into a better progression as a player, towards the end, because even coming off of that injury, isn't it like a year after you're still getting, pain from it 24/7. You're still only restricted so much. Like I get it, maybe an excuse or whatever, but dang man, the man's old. Injuries is going to last a little longer.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So again, these Steeler fans that are hoping to get 2013 Aaron Rodgers.
Oh no.
No. Definitely not getting that. Absolutely.
Right.
Impossible. There's no way.
I did read something today. It was I don't know how reliable the news source was, that they were talking about certain guys that are dealing with contract issues, right, asking for more money, and James Cook's name came up. Apparently, James Cook said he will not, and he said we will not miss training camp at all. And I think that's commendable. I think he'll work through his contract. I don't like when guys sit. I don't know. I think having now with him in the mix, right? Back, for sure. Let's say he for sure shows up. That's a guy that I think right now, in my opinion, is top 5 in the league easily, running back wise. That is very high on my draft board. Wes, what you were making a face? Do you agree or disagree?
I wanted to stay on the Cook point of him working, doing the whole training camp thing while he's fighting his contract. Right. He's in a unique spot because you got Ray Davis behind him. So I feel like if he don't show up, Buffalo's going to be like, okay, Ray, let's see what you got. I don't think it's a good time for him to kind of give up his spot when there's somebody talented behind him. I get him fighting for his money, and I'm
Right.
down with that. But for him to stay out of training camp and then the Bills get a better look at what Ray could do is not. He got to be in the building to show Buffalo I got value here. You know, I
Okay.
just think. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
No, I didn't say nothing. I was waiting.
No, so that's why I was staying with James Cook. Like, I get it. I want you to get your money, but hey, you got to play this smart because there's somebody behind you that the team drafted.
And they believe it. And they believe
Right.
it.
So you can't play your hand too hard, you know, and play yourself out of Buffalo.
So what I was going to say was that one, I agree with you. Also to your point, money wise, James Cook is still on a rookie deal, and he wasn't a first round pick. So
Right.
if he was to sit out, he would lose money. That's the number one thing he said
Right.
when he came to training or minicamp was that, I like my money, and so he can't afford to sit out and lose money and then not being in the best of shape and then get to the season and then he doesn't perform his best and then he loses all value. James Cook to me is in the best possible situation possible because even if Buffalo, which I don't even see them doing it, but even if Buffalo were to franchise him, he's still going to be a top paid running back.
Oh,
And
yeah,
if he performs well, he's going to get a boatload of money. So
like 14 mil, I think is a running back tag this year.
right. So he's in a good spot, and I think it's motivating for him just for those factors. I said a couple days ago when we were live that James Cook is only 44% of the running back room when it pertains to carries or receiving.
Right.
The rest of that comes from Josh Allen, Ray Davis, and Ty Johnson, and especially Ty Johnson in the receiving game. Ty Johnson has a higher clip because he's on the field on third down most times over James Cook. So he can't afford to do it. He's not in a good shape from that standpoint because, in my opinion, I don't think the Bills are remotely the good team they are without James Cook on that team.
Oh, I totally agree with you on that.
I just don't see it. You know what I mean? As good as Ray Davis is, as good as Ty Johnson is, I think they're a combination of greatness because of James Cook's ability to take it at any given point. So I just think he has to be there. So
I think speaking of a good running back room right now, Stitch, I kind of like your running back room with Joe Mixon. I mean, and then again, this is just something I read. Actually, I'm sorry, I didn't read it. I watched a video online about Nick Chubb that the Texans. I think it had something to do with your medical staff. Like they did a full evaluation of him, and then talked to his doctor that he's been seeing in the off season. I mean, if Nick Chubb works out in Texas, what are we looking at potentially? Are we looking at another phenomenal season from CJ Stroud?
Like, I think that's debatable, Mitch, only because that's really up to CJ Stroud. But I think Nick Chubb, if we can get at least 75, maybe 60% of what he was, because I don't think he's going to be the same player that he was when he's first with Cleveland.
Okay.
But if he can get Joe Mixon some help, because every running back behind him can't get any more than 2 yards. Damian Pierce has fell off since his rookie season. Agum Owale, he's a specialist, but he's really just a receiving back if we need him. And then we drafted this guy, Woody Marks, and he's more of a receiving back if you want to get technical. So somebody has to help Joe Mixon in the run game.
Right.
So that's basically what I'm hoping for Nick Chubb. Yes, a good run game could help CJ Stroud, but another thing CJ Stroud has to understand is he has to just be better with himself. He don't overthink it, make the easy plays because he likes to, get everybody involved, but that's not always a good thing. I mean, you really just got to get who's open and get the easy play. So that's what he's got to improve on.
Okay.
So,
Bo, I want to go to you. I want to ask you a question because you and I talk about this a lot. I think the one missing link potentially for your team the Denver Broncos, or anyone doesn't know that Bo is it was named after Bo Nix, by the way, if you didn't know that.
That's crazy. Same age, or he's actually younger as well.
Does
Pretty close.
If your running back room performs early, does that mean, in your opinion, that Bo Nix will end the season on a much higher note?
Holding himself high, yes, and team success, yes.
Okay.
But I still don't think he has a progressment in stats, if you want me to be real. Because if that works out, that's what we're supposed to be doing, is taking off some of the slack from what Bo did. Bo as a rookie was the best offensive piece we had. To take any bit of slack, he off of him will only be a help. So I don't think statistically it's going to progress.
Okay. Wes, I want to go to you next. I mean, you have a running back that potentially they're saying if shows up can be, offensive rookie of the year. I've said this to you, and I want to ask you. I mean, look, we know what I think we know what we have with Geno, but if Ashton is able to really run that rock well, doesn't that take a lot of pressure off of him to kind of stay more relaxed in that pocket and maybe perform a little bit more?
Nope. I don't like that. I look at it as we have just a total upgrade in the quarterback room just from the jump. However you feel about Geno, he's still
a total upgrade.
And then you got to upgrade at our running back position. So I look at it as, I could see better offensive performance, but Geno's still Geno. Like when I look at Geno, I was like, just don't throw too many interceptions, because that just puts us back to that quarterback play. Like I said, I just expect that quarterback play to be elevated this year.
Okay.
I don't know what that means in stats. It's got to be better than what we were throwing out there.
I mean, that's valid. That's valid. I mean, you had the quarterback carousel,
Right, but we're a tough division, so I don't know if that's going to equate to too many more wins. But I just want to see a better fight. That's all.
Speaking of elevated quarterback play, I want to go to Snow and Belly. Right, I'm going to go to Snow first. Snow, I think a lot of people are very high on Bryce Young for the improvements that he made last year, towards the end of the season, and now you're giving him more weapons. As a Panther fan, what are your expectations for him this year?
Man, that's tough. I guess my expectations would be continue what he did the last couple of games of the season.
Okay.
But also with understanding that it could go south.
Gotcha. Okay.
Just because if you look at the entire 2 years, didn't start off well. Second year started off worse, got benched, came back, played well. People dropped some passes. Then he had some off games. Then he played great. Is that due to playing teams where it's it's the end of the season?
I think it's a maturation process, personally.
So yeah, I mean it's it's definitely a make or break year.
Okay.
But I'm picturing top 15 quarterback this year for him.
Okay.
But around the 15 mark.
Okay. Billy, sort of a similar question to you. Different feel though, right? Justin Fields was given an opportunity early last year. I thought we all think he did well, right? He then, for the rest of the season, was used, very sporadically. But I think we've all said that if given the right opportunity and given the chance to play, and someone to believe in you, I mean, what are your expectations for Fields this year?
Do what he did last year in those games that he started. Maintain the possession and drive down the field. And I mean,
looking at what he's going into, yes, they retooled the O line, but you have a receiver that he knows and he trusts.
Okay, right, and Garrett.
And that's going to play a whole lot more into effect than it did with George Pickens, the one route wonder over in Pittsburgh.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I didn't think about that combination together again. I never really. I don't know why, but that's
Garrett and Justin.
I didn't really actually think of them two being at Ohio State and having chemistry. I don't know why that never popped in my head. That's cool.
So then, and Stino, that leaves you, man.
Uh-oh.
Your quarterback right now is a little fragile.
Is who?
A little fragile.
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 I got it. It's French, like Jacques the box.
Right. Talking the ball. But correct me, Stino, I'm sorry, and maybe I'm just having a casual moment. Why is no one like Josh Downs? To me, is one of the is a very good receiver. Like one of the
yeah. He's one of he's a top 5 slot receiver in the league.
I would easily say that, right? So what is the problem? Am I just hearing just crazy casual talk that I heard someone say that the Colts don't have a viable wide receiver room?
No, that's not true.
Yeah, that's definitely
that's not true at all. No,
right?
That's definitely a lie.
That's a lie.
I mean, you got
Don't get me wrong. We did drop a lot of passes last year, definitely. But I mean, again, alluding to what we had commented on earlier, talking about some quarterbacks still being responsible for some of them drops. That's absolutely correct because out of the 500 and I think it was 36 dropbacks to pass last year that the Colts had, which ranked the 4th lowest in the NFL. 20, I think the number was 22 or 23% of those passes were actually off target or bad passes, which actually led to drops and of course led to incompletions and stuff like that. So it was going to make the receiving core probably look a little worse than what it really is. So
right, because you guys got Pittman, your number 1, right?
Yeah, Pittman. We have Alec Pierce as the 2 and Josh Downs as the 3. Adonai Mitchell coming off the bench too.
I like Adonai. I think Adonai's going to wind up taking. I like Alex Pierce, but let's be honest, he's a fucking boomer bust kind of guy.
No, he's a deep threat. He's a deep threat for sure.
I would like to see the maturation of Mr. Adonai Mitchell.
Yeah.
He has a phenomenal last name, by the way. I mean, but no, I see, I see a lot of potential with our teams, and Bo, we know you're going 13-4 or 14-3. I'm only kidding. I'm not here to mess with you, but I think a lot of our we it's hard, and we give Bo a hard time. But when we were doing, if anyone hasn't done it, it's that NFL Perry bullshit where you sit there and you go through the whole schedule, right? Here's my thing. If you're judging that based on what you saw last year, right, from your team and the teams that you're going to be playing, the reason I have a hard time is because I try to factor in everything else, right? I'm sitting there factoring in this team dropped this guy, this team got this guy, this team lost these 2 coaches and this coach and this team. They got better at this position. Yes, you got better at this position as well, but there's so many variables, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I said to you, Bo, that I believe that the Broncos this year on paper have what it takes, in my opinion, to take over that division and win that division. That doesn't mean that I don't think the Chiefs are not making the playoffs. That doesn't mean that I don't think the Chiefs are falling off tremendously. But I do think there's a new sheriff in town, and then that's just my opinion, right? The Bills, the same thing. I don't think any team in that division has done enough to say that they're going to take over that division from the Bills. I mean, Jets have made improvements. The Patriots have made improvements. The tuna fish boys, they're terrible. You know what?
Got Darren Waller.
Did you just say Darren Waller?
Hey, the fantasy show, right? I'm giving up some gems.
All right, so here, okay, so all right, so here we go.
Somebody's gonna pick him up.
He can bring some hip hop to Miami.
Oh God.
No, he can't because his album was trash. You know, it's terrible.
Just like tuna fish.
It was, bro. It was.
Him and Rick Ross could team up, the two worst rappers in the history of the world.
Whoa. Oh.
Two of the worst. How about that? So I ask you that. Is it a fault, bro? I know you hate this team more than anybody else, so I'm going to go to you first. Losing John O. Smith, gaining Darren Waller. Win for the Dolphins, loss for the Dolphins.
It's gonna be the same old Dolphins, bro. I don't think they've improved. I don't think they've done nothing, including losing Jano Smith, who I mean they had. I will say this, like for the offense with Tuna Boy, they can move the ball just because they have built that rapport together. You know what I mean? But like, I don't see it, bro. I just don't. I don't see no improvement. So.
Yeah, but I think he had such a great connection with Johnu last year, and now he's gone. Now you got you got the little pump of the NFL, Darren Waller.
Yeah, but you could say that they had a connection, right? And obviously, I do think when he's on the field, for those little bit of times that he is on the field, for the most part, right? They do score points, right? But Janu Smith doesn't play defense, and neither does Tuna Tonga by Tuna. He doesn't play defense, and that's been one of their major problems. Their problem hasn't been on offense. Their problem has been on defense. So you give your best defender away, and that's saying something for a guy that fell off the map, right? You give your best defender away to take one in a position that you really didn't need a lot of help at. You know what I mean? So we'll see.
Well, I hope they're terrible again. I'm not wishing them luck at all.
Oh, no question. They don't deserve luck. I mean,
we'll see. I think in the next we got 3 more weeks, Billy, to training camp starts. About 3 more weeks. All right.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Yeah, because the first game was the 31st.
Yeah, the first game is
Hall of Fame game. Yes.
Tino, I'm sorry to keep you up here late at night. I was just seeing you yawning, making everyone else tired. Give me what's the going on in the NBA this week?
Whole lot of summer league, man. Whole lot of summer league.
But weren't there some trades made or?
I mean, there were some trades finalized type stuff, but I mean that's about it. That Kevin Durant trade ended up being more than a 2-team trade, and ended up being a 7-team trade, the first 7-team trade in NBA history.
Yeah, that's wild, bro. That was crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
That included Clint Capella going over to Houston.
Yeah. But they had to do that. I ain't even cut you off, Stino, but they had to do that for that money to match up. That's why it took so many different people, because straight up trading them to Houston wasn't going. You're not giving out the same money, so they had to find ways to do that. So,
and there was 2 teams that literally got cash in the deal.
Right?
You got cash in the deal. Like that was the only way it was gonna work.
So is that the whole apron thing that they're talking about these days?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was crazy. Like the day, I think you and I talked about it. The day after the draft, there was deals already. Like I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, there's a lot going on, man. A lot going on.
Well, and Stino's guy, man, is going to be out for the season too, man. Which is I mean, just think about where they was 2 years ago. In the Eastern Conference Finals, they lose heartbreak fashion. They come back, they make it to the finals. They got a good team. You almost was certain. Me personally, I don't think they trade or they let Miles Turner go if this kid is healthy. You know what I mean?
No,
And
Yeah,
so
I mean,
They
so
do.
from everything I heard and that I read just earlier today, the Pacers were 100% willing to go into that second apron to be able to retain Miles Turner. Miles Turner just kind of had already had his mind made up that after 10 years he was ready to go ahead and dip
there
out.
you go. Yeah.
Well,
do you think
especially after that happens. My
do
bad.
you think that's so? Stina, let me ask you this because I actually asked a friend of mine the same question. The Miles Turner decision to leave, right?
hmm
Think that had to do with Halliburton missing next season?
I mean, maybe, but I mean, then again, I look over at Milwaukee. I mean, you had a point guard that was already going to miss the rest of the season. Wasn't going to be playing at all. You was going to come in there and be the starting center, but you was losing a lot more depth pieces as well. You know what I'm saying? Brook Lopez was gone.
Right.
Giannis already unhappy with the way they did Dame. They traded Pat Connaughton, who had been there for a while, who, again, Giannis was a little upset about that, too. So, I mean, Miles just going to Milwaukee just kind of confused me because, one, we put them out of the playoffs the last 2 years. And two, like the situation that he's going into just completely almost overnight seemed like it turned into shit, excuse my language, but it's very confusing what they got going on over there in Milwaukee right now, man. So
I don't even think Milwaukee knows what they're doing over there, Stina. Honestly, I really don't.
Why do you say that,
Well,
buddy?
go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just say that because like I feel like
Wave
that
Dame.
Milwaukee is not as in love with Giannis as Giannis is in love with them. Like I feel like it's a very toxic relationship. I mean, I'm sure we've all seen it. Like it does Giannis really want to be there? Is Giannis going to get traded? I mean, there's just a lot of drama in that organization for the past 2 years. I mean, they even fired a coach because Giannis didn't get along with. I don't know the whole story. I just don't think that organization needs to continue what it's doing right now with Giannis. I think it's time for the ties to cut. And Dame, I felt sorry for him. I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't think that was a good spot for him, anyways. If you want to get technical, I did not like him going there at all. So that's just me, but that's just my opinion. But I just think that whole organization over there is not a good situation. And if I'm Miles Turner, I would have probably better off stayed where he was, honestly. But that's just me.
I think as long as Giannis is in Milwaukee and they prove to Giannis that they are building around him to get him another one, I mean, I I, I think he's gonna stay, man. I hate to say it because I was so high on the trade, et cetera, et cetera. But it's he you got to look at where he came from and stuff, like where he came from and what it means to him to be a Buck. Like I think he stays as long as they actually give him a little bit of care. I mean,
Bro,
build around him.
No.
Well, I'm just gonna say this: that first of all, originally, obviously, him leaving Indiana, I just didn't. At the time when it happened, I just didn't see why he would do that. But remember, they got rid of the twin. They got rid of the twin, Lopez. They got rid of him.
Yeah.
Or yeah. They let him go. Excuse me. And look at the role he played. I think it's fair to say that Miles Turner is a better version of what he used to do for Milwaukee when that Milwaukee team was together. You know,
Yep.
stretch the floor, shoot the three, rebound when he had to. But the dirty work still is going to be on Giannis. I think maybe they could potentially make a move to where they can be actually competing at a much higher clip. If you look at what's going on in Sacramento right now, they're not too happy with nothing that's going on in Sacramento, which they never are, right? They're trying to find a trade for what's this fucking dude,
Sabonis.
man? Huh?
Zach Levine.
Sabonis.
No, not Zach Levine. The one that came from the Bulls in
Sabonis.
Toronto. No.
The one that came from where?
The Bulls in Toronto.
DeMar DeRozan.
DeMar DeRozan. So I think what if they can't find a way to trade him, I think they can buy DeMar DeRozan out and Milwaukee can sign him. I mean, it doesn't make them title contenders, but it does something for the team. You know, they're going to make the playoffs with Miles Turner and Giannis alone. So adding a guy like that could potentially put them in a place to where they could, at least compete in the East. And let's not forget, the East is not very top heavy. There's a couple of teams in the East, and then there's everybody else. You know what I mean? And shout out to the Knicks for hiring Mike Brown as well, too. I wanted to get out a shout out because I like that hire.
Yeah, I like that one. I like that.
Wes, I like the Mike Brown hire, and then who was the kid that we brought in, Wes?
Which one?
From Utah.
Clarkson.
Yeah, Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah, Jordan, bro. Yeah, that was a pickup right there. That's a good pickup. I will say too, with the East being, I won't say even with them not being as top heavy, it's going to be really sad next year. I'm not saying this, but I got the Knicks winning the East, and then who's two? It's not the Celtics. It's not the Pacers. Cleveland. And then after that, I don't know. Celtics and Pacers are just. I mean, I don't know if they're going to be 3-4 or behind them.
The bottom, I would say, the bottom of the East got better. Atlanta, Orlando, those guys that were in that playing game towards, they got slightly better. So we're going to drop Indy and Boston. I'm going to drop Milwaukee because I just don't know how you get better by dropping Dame and adding like 30, 25 million on your books. I don't know how you can make moves up like that as an organization.
Thank you for saying that, Wes, because they're still going to have to pay him.
Right. They got to pay.
If you waive him, you're still going to have to pay him.
Yeah. He's getting paid for the next 5 years, right?
Right. So, you're with that salary, regardless whether he would have played for you or not, you still got to pay it. I don't like the Miles Turner. I'd rather Miles be in Indiana. I thought it was a better situation, but he moved to Milwaukee. I think, and I like everybody's opinion on Giannis, but I feel Milwaukee has done a lot for Giannis already. Like changing coaches, getting players. Now it's like, and now Giannis is iffy that he don't want to stay. I'm like, they moving heaven and earth to keep you here, bro. Like, you can't be on the fence on your organization when they're making all these moves, mortgaging their future for the present. And you like, I don't know. So I'm worried about Milwaukee's situation, to be honest with you. If they don't have Giannis, it's a wrap.
Wes, has anyone signed Dame?
No.
It just became the waiver. The waiver just became official as of yesterday, so he's still out there. So
I'm not saying did anyone sign him?
No,
sign him.
I don't think it's going to be immediate because I'd rather him rehab and he can still pick his spot. So he can wait this out and see what teams do, see who got better. But he probably end up in Miami because that's how Pat Riley rolls. He, rolling on the slide, he making these side deals. But
that's one of the two teams I've heard, Wes. I've heard the Heat and I've heard the Lakers. I've heard.
All right, yeah. See,
yeah, I've heard the Lakers and the Heat.
The Lakers for what? My ask. I mean, they got.
LeBron needs another great player.
Yeah, Bo. That's the part that you're not understanding. LeBron is running the show, so if he wants Damian Lillard, I promise you, he's going to get Dame. I guarantee it. He has all the power, bro.
I don't think there's a way they can just afford another 25 out of fucking nowhere. Respectfully,
he needs someone. He needs someone he can flop next to.
I don't think that. I mean, until LeBron's gone, I don't see another superstar getting added to that team.
It's tough, but they'll find a way. Creative. What do they call it? Creative accounting.
It is LA. It is LA. Whatever.
Like I said, Dame don't have to take a lot of money to go anywhere else. He can take
because remember, he's still getting paid from the Bucks.
Right.
It's not like he's going to get hurt for money.
Go somewhere.
He's not hurting for money,
right?
At all. Like, what are we talking about? He's not going to chase the bag. He's still getting the money from the Bucks.
He's going to get paid what he's worth.
Yeah.
What are the Bucks still owe him?
I don't know. I've got contract.
20. I think it's like $23 million a year for the next 5 years.
Yeah. See, look, he's going to get his money, man.
Or a
It's
team that's already in the double apron.
Even if he signs with somebody else, they still have to pay him that?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yes.
Who worked out that fucking deal? You signed that guy up for
I mean,
His agent.
basically what they like they basically just said instead of
Turner.
taking on the full amount of the remaining salary this year, we're just going to spread it out over the next 5 years. That way they could afford to be able to sign Miles Turner.
Right.
Okay, so creative accounting.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, pretty much.
But I think what Wes said earlier, I think that's probably the team that's going to get him because they could probably give him a good spot and a good money, and that's the Heat. So I could see the Heat just pulling the trigger and saying, like, that's a no-brainer. I mean, so
Miami 100% would, and they're in a position to.
yeah, so
Do you guys
Hey,
say
I wouldn't rule out a return to Portland
Well,
either. Lied to you.
that would be interesting.
I wouldn't rule that, out.
That would be interesting. I'm not gonna lie.
You just push out Scotty then? No, that's not
It's
Scotty.
great,
That's not Scotty. Not Scotty. Damn, bro.
Scoot Henderson.
Scoop.
Scoot. Yeah, Scoot. Yeah.
Yep. You can,
Hey, they just got rid of Simons.
do you see a lot of moves happening in the offseason and the landscape changing a bit?
And then
I mean,
I think we're
yeah,
done.
I'm just mad we haven't made any moves.
to be honest, which that another team that's just a mess right now is the Suns. I mean, now that Bradley Beal's asking, he's getting that buyout and whatever the hell is going on over there. So that's a complete shit show over there. So like, so,
I seen that we were interested in Bradley Beal, and I was just like, bro, what do you? No.
They're just gonna run small ball the whole game.
No, not Bradley. Please don't.
Well, shout out to my Yankees that won what you win 10-3, West.
Oh, okay.
It's over.
Hey, no one asked you, bro. Keep it down up there.
I'm just saying. Come on, bro.
he's like, come on, bro. Come on.
Second place Yankees.
The second place Yankees.
Right.
Whatever, bro.
Not the 5th place Red Sox. I'm just saying.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. That's right.
Oh, I wasn't bragging. I was upset we didn't say.
Well, I wasn't bragging either. Robert chimed in, so I feel I had to say something. Yeah, so again, we have a lot going down, getting ready to go down here in the No Man world. We got so next week again, we're gonna do a kind of, I guess you call it a mock random wheel league. Stitch and Bo, you guys will bring up. Well, Bo, you're gonna talk to Cooey. Stitch,
Yeah.
who you're potentially gonna bring up again. You know the parameters of it.
Time out. I got.
Yes, sir.
You said we're not going to play this out, right?
Right. So we're just gonna draft. We're gonna draft our team.
5. Okay. Because I remember how free agency went.
No, yeah, we're gonna have to have a talk about that because that shit was
The day after
that-
it was wide open.
oh my god.
Yeah, when people sitting in the chat waiting for the draft to be over and then
Crazy.
leave me to get nothing. Yeah, I
Right.
remember vividly.
Right. That was crazy.
So you guys weren't around for this mayhem that happened. So as you can imagine, Stitch, the random wheel is that of a random, right? So there are going to be teams
Or players out there that
have a good draft, right? The chips fell well for them. And there's going to be other teams, and it's probably going to be a handful or so, that need some fucking help, right? Well, last year, there was a little bit of a debacle in the beginning, right? Because it wasn't like I wasn't putting them directly into a fantasy league. I had to build the league, right? Well, the moment I built the league and I said, okay,
he opened up waivers, boy.
I opened up the waiver wire, Stitch, and it was like fucking mayhem. It was like the looting. It was like the LA riots, man. They were looting. It was crazy. So we'll have to put a little regulation on that a little bit. I got to set that league up a little bit different. As I mentioned a few weeks ago, we will be bringing back our Wednesday show. It'll be me, Wes, and Drew doing the league. All right, Bo. Bo's got to put the kid to bed. Shout out to little Bo. Good night, sweet dreams, my friend.
Little Bo Peep.
Bro, y'all look at this, bro. I walked into the living room and he's like, "You just never mind, never mind. I'm not back to me."
You can't see you got a background on anyway.
Yeah, it's okay. That'll just I'm not worried about. He's just crashed, bro, leaning over the edge of the couch.
Nice.
How old is he?
Bro, he actually turns 4 in
Nice.
4 hours.
Oh, happy birthday, little man.
Shout out to little Bo, man. So
It's 4 hours.
Oh, yeah. He tried to stay up late. You know how it is. You want to
Yeah.
come in awake on your birthday. Like
Yeah,
Christmas Eve.
Right.
We had an extra cereal with some milk. He's like, "Yeah, I'm living the dream, baby." So
Yeah. Well, I appreciate everybody here as always. But I'm gonna get off here and get him
all right.
talk to him and stuff.
Easy.
All right. Later.
So we got the league coming back. We got a lot of stuff going on, but as always, I appreciate the panel. Great show, great time, great love. To the No Man Nation, we had a light show, and I think it's because Snow's not promoting us, bro. I just think that's what it is, man. I just think that
Hey man, y'all heard about No Man? Yeah, we heard about No Man. I got you.
saying in your house and there's no one there to listen to you.
First and foremost, I have plenty of imaginary friends here.
Yeah, but those imaginary friends don't have YouTube accounts.
How do you know? Maybe he made
scam
them.
some up. You can scam some up.
Maybe it's Tino's fault. I don't know. It's somebody's fault.
Could be Stino's fault.
All the ladies showed up for Stitch because they knew he was wearing the wife beater, So I just gotta do shit for him. I love you, man. Hey, shout out to the No Man Nation. Shout out to Belly B, Bro, Stino, Snow, Stitch, West, Kirby, Drew, Bo, the whole crew. Shout out to my man Reese. Hope you feel better, bro, buddy. Shout out to the Not Move podcast, our friends out there. Shout out to the TikTok family, you loser motherfuckers that don't show up and support me on YouTube. Appreciate the love that you're not showing. I'm only kidding. Shout out to everybody. I don't give a shit. Listen, every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Twitch, YouTube, join the nation. We're at 1425. Next week, when we see you, we will be at 1500. You better recognize, bitches. Wes, since Drew's not here, can you say it?
DC is. I'm just gonna say it's terrible. I'm just saying it's terrible, even though I want to see the Superman movie.
No, fuck that. DC trash, man.
DC is trash. Go for my Drew voice.
You know what, Kirby? I hope you're listening right now because I got something to say to you about that shit. You want to talk about how can in 2025 Marvel fuck up a Black Captain America? I don't know. How does in 2025 DC fuck up John Cena? One of the biggest known names, and that shit is trash. Peacemaker, piece of shit maker. That's what you guys are over there, DC.
Oh man, maker.
Marvel always rules.